Thank you, everybody, for coming on this cold, miserable, gonna get worse day. This is for Clear Coalition. My name is Roxanne Pauline, and I'm going to read a little bit off of my notes. The Clear Coalition, as you know, is sponsored by labor, and it's for labor engagement on accountable revenue. It's known as the Clear Coalition, which is a broad-based coalition of labor organizations representing over 1.1 million hardworking Pennsylvanians. We're here today because we want what? A fair budget. I don't think that's asking an awful lot. The decisions that are being made in Harrisburg are impacting us right here in northeastern Pennsylvania. There is no one immune to the impact these state budget cuts are going to have. Not one single solitary person. Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Green Party. This is going to affect everybody, whether they want to believe it or they don't. Governor Corbett's proposals slash the services. When he slashes services, it is overcrowding in classrooms. It's doing terrible things and cutting kindergarten. I was reading in the morning call today where their kindergarten program is going out the window. The voucher program is going to allow your children to go to where? Voodoo school? Or whatever school they could possibly get into. If they want to, they can go to public school, but unfortunately there's not going to be any teachers there for them. There may not even be a building the way some of the budget cuts are going right now. We need to stop the attack on working families because it is an attack. It's an outright attack. There's no disguising it. There's no putting sugar and whipped cream and cherries on top. They're out here and they're attacking us on every single issue that we could possibly face. The one in spirits and privatization, the school teachers, SEIU and the healthcare. We're losing hospitals one by one. I'm going to call up to the stage Glenn, and he is with PSEA, and he's going to talk a little bit for you about what's going on here in his area. Glenn?
All right, thanks, Roxanne. Appreciate it. And thank you all for coming out this afternoon, this cold, damp day, but it's really important that the work we do to protect working families of Pennsylvania. You know, in Governor Corbett's budget cut, he talked about, in his speech, he talked about a day of reckoning. And unfortunately, this day of reckoning is going to fall on the backs of children, of working families in Pennsylvania, homeowners, low-income people who rely on health care, teachers, elderly, and also healthcare workers throughout the state. $1 billion in educational cuts. What does that mean? Okay, on average, you're looking at over $2 million per school in Pennsylvania. In Luzerne County, that's over $22 million worth of cuts to schools in Luzerne County. In Monroe County, where I'm from, in Stroudsburg, $15 million worth of cuts to schools in the 5 school districts in Monroe County. In Columbia County, next door, almost $6 million in cuts. What does that mean? That means cuts in programs. Rise in your property taxes. School districts are going to be forced to raise school taxes or to cut programs. Many schools districts will wind up doing both, right? Raising your taxes and cutting quality programs. Full day kindergarten with the loss of the opportunity accountability block grants. Full day kindergarten, we know it works, it proves to work. You're looking at course reduction, course selections for seniors in high school. You're looking at college prep classes that seniors won't be able to take. You're looking at larger class sizes. We know small class sizes work. You're looking at programs that are dedicated to the art classes, music classes, dance classes. Those would all be cut. And also, you know, interscholastic sports programs will probably be cut. You know, pay-to-play programs will now come into play. He's also cutting higher education. 50% cut to the state colleges. I mean, state colleges are never going to be able to afford that to their students. Students in Pennsylvania right now, 7 out of 10 students who graduate attend higher education. If we cut 50% of funding to state schools, no way students will be able to afford even a state college education. Investment in education has great benefits, and we all know it. We're talking about increased productivity for the workforce. We're talking about higher earnings for workers, which create a greater tax base. So, you know, one thing about Governor Corbett, and you listen to the Republicans, they always talk about creating jobs, creating jobs, creating jobs. And actually, they do the opposite. They don't create jobs, they create greater unemployment. With the potential loss of thousands of teachers in public schools and also across higher education, you know, we're not creating jobs. What he's doing is increasing to the unemployment rates in Pennsylvania. And I'm upset about it, and I know you are too. Thank you so much. I'd like to introduce Peter DeMarco from SEIU, Service Employees International Union, Healthcare Pennsylvania. Peter?
He said, my name is Peter DeMarco. I'm a CNA in a local nursing home. I'm a realtor for Century 21 in the Hazelton area. I'm a single father. I'm a registered voter for the Republican Party. I'm a taxpayer. I'm an SEIU Healthcare PA member, and I'm in the same boat as all of you. If you're working or unemployed, if you have children in school or children going to school, if you're in college or want to go to college, if you're simply struggling to pay your bills or put food on your table day after day, we're all in the same boat, and that boat is starting to sink more and more in the months to come if we don't do something about it now. The budget that is being pushed by our elected leaders in Harrisburg and is going to start making it harder and more costly for us to send our children to school to get a quality education. Yes, they'll get in the building as required by law, but the teaching that happens in that building is going to not be the quality our children deserve, because it's going to be more crowded, less teachers, less programs due to the budget cuts. There will be no taxes raised in Harrisburg, we're told, but what we're not told is taxes in your local school district will go up. The home you are struggling to pay for now and may even be losing will cost you even more money to live in with higher taxes. And renters, if your landlord's paying higher taxes, what do you think is going to happen to your rent? The budget cuts $150 million in state Medicaid funds, which will also cost us another $183 million in federal funds, hurting the most vulnerable among us who need health care. This can be avoided by closing the corporate loopholes, taxing cigars and smokeless tobacco. Pennsylvania is one of the only one of two states not to do this. And let's be clear, this budget cut is not a shared sacrifice. Corporations and multinational drilling companies are not paying their fair share and sharing the sacrifice. The fact is, working families, children, our most vulnerable citizens are making all the sacrifice in this budget and paying the true cost for the reckless cuts that are suggested. This budget is a tax shift on the working family, cutting $23.5 million in the Human Service Development Fund, which gives our counties flexible funds to use on programs such as home meal deliveries and adult daycare. Will create a huge burden on counties and ultimately increase the local tax. The budget is a tax shift onto local communities and working families. It will result in higher local taxes. Instead of shifting the tax burden onto property owners and families, it's time to enact a fair tax on drilling and to close the corporate tax loophole. We are here to urge Representative Toohill and the rest of our elected representatives to support a budget that shares the sacrifice, that makes big corporations pay their fair share to make sure our children continue to receive a quality education, provide needed health care for families without jobs, and give the best possible life to our senior citizens. Thank you.
Going on affects the people right here in northeastern Pennsylvania. I mean right here in northeastern Pennsylvania. Does it affect you?
Yes!
Okay, so what are we going to do? Fight! Working families under attack. What are we going to do?